Hello, I'm Tracey Lawko, and I'd like to share with you my experience of the power of inspiration and how it has affected my artwork. Almost 20 years ago, we moved to the country, to the beautiful rolling hills of the Niagara Escarpment, about 2 hours north of Toronto. I saw beauty in everything around me: fruit and vegetables in my garden, native plants, the rural countryside, the views, and I wanted to capture it all in fiber. One day I came in from gardening and dropped my gloves on a bench. When I came back, I was intrigued by how they landed and sketched them. From that drawing, I created this piece called Ready, as in ready for the next task, and ready to call myself an artist. Walking through a nearby nature conservancy, I was intrigued by small white blossoms in the underbrush. It was a berry, but what kind? I went back each month until I saw that they were blackberries. I decided to do it as a triptych to show the progression, and I used a variety of materials including silk ribbon, glass beads, and wire with dimensional stumpwork techniques. I find the landscape here fascinating in all seasons, and winter can be particularly stunning. For windswept snow, I wish I had $1 for every time someone said, "Wow, what a beautiful painting." It's only when they get up close that they realize that the work is stitched. By 2013, I had created a significant body of work and applied for SAQA's juried artist status. An offhand comment caught me off guard. "Your work is so small." Indignant, I thought, well, yeah, I'm working with a single sewing thread. Of course it's small. Nonetheless, that comment planted a seed. What would it take for me to work large? Could I fill a gallery cube with my work? A little later, at my 30th university reunion, I was struck by the amount of change around me. I spotted a stand of gnarly old maples and wondered what they had seen over the years. It hit me that change would be a great subject for large works, and I could use trees as a metaphor. Change enables growth shows the same tree as it changes through the seasons. It tells the story of how we humans deal with change. The panels increase in size by 4 inches and shift perspective by 4 inches, reflecting that after a major change event, as we gain more information, our awareness grows and our perspective shifts. At 7 feet, this is the largest of my stitched artworks. For the gallery exhibition, I wanted to create one work for each wall, with each in a different technique. For this piece about a change event or catalyst, I created a 5-foot wire sculpture of a tree branch. I had used fine wire and small dimensional stumpwork pieces like the blackberries, but this was a major step for me into the world of sculpture. Here, individually stitched maple leaves in the colors of the seasons are attached to the branch and blow across a wall. For my installation, the 4 works would have to be an appropriate size for the gallery space, which was about 15 feet by 22 feet. 3 years in the making, the 4 works were installed at David Kay Gallery in Toronto in 2016. Stability is hand-felted and stitched bark studies representing the status quo. Winds of change represents a change event. Change enables growth represents transition. Birches are 3 silk panels representing renewal. For me, inspiration is all around me. What translates that inspiration into artwork is motivation. The daughter of an entomologist, I've been fascinated by bees and butterflies since I was a child. Both our gardens and the native plants around us attract many insects, and each day I do what I call a butterfly walk to see what's about. My current body of work focuses on the environment, and in particular on the importance of pollinators to our ecosystem and to our survival. It seems to me that I see fewer bees and butterflies than I used to. I thought this tiger swallowtail was particularly striking in my purple sensation lilacs. My work is a combination of machine stitching and hand embroidery. I work on an industrial long-arm sewing machine for much of the stitching. No computer, no stitch regulator, just my eye-hand coordination. I add finishing details by hand, in this case the antenna, proboscis, and hundreds of French knots. I have completed over 20 of these nature studies so far. Yes, they are small and they are very detailed. I make the insects larger than life to enable viewers to appreciate their beauty without being so large that they are intimidating. I am now working on some larger work, showing the insects in their context. On this walk, I loved the unexpected colors, the parched milkweed turning yellow and orange, and how that echoed the brilliant orange of the monarch, and then the dramatic lines of the grasses growing through the milkweed. I've always admired those amazingly detailed paintings of the Dutch masters that put flowers that don't bloom at the same time in a single bouquet. Breakfast is a classic still life, linking the activity of a bee to the food we eat. In May, my crabapple tree blooms. In August, I pick the ripe crabapple. In September, I make jelly. Then I have breakfast. Without a bee, it would not be. Without a bee, it could not be. My inspiration comes from the natural world around me. My motivation comes from wanting to create and wanting to communicate how important that natural world is. We shouldn't take it for granted. Curiosity, experimentation, and desire are elements of intrinsic motivation. My starting point comes from what interests me, my inspiration. Then, could I do it? How would I do it? Let's see what happens, and off I go. The strongest driver of creativity is intrinsic motivation, which means doing it because I want to, for myself, not for anyone else, or for any external reward. Inspiration provides the what, my subject. Intrinsic motivation is what gets it done. I hope my experience has in some way inspired your imagination. Thank you.